What do you got there?
Bean.
A bean?
Mm-hmm.
A green bean?
Mm-hmm. I want this year.
Why? You guys pick them, but you don't want them?
No, they make my body hurt, remember?
Green beans still?
Yeah, I dropped it.
Okay.
When are we gonna pick a carrot?
Pick the carrots?
Yeah.
We're gonna pick the carrots right now.
Right now? Hi. Hi. One says hi.
Out in the garden on a Saturday morning, and today we're gonna talk carrots. We're gonna harvest some carrots, and then we're also going to plant some more carrot seeds, and I'll give you a couple tips on all of that. A good tip on the day that you're gonna be harvesting your carrots, you want your soil to be a little moist, not too dry, like a day after a day of rain. So we actually had some rain yesterday. It should be hopefully about perfect to pull these carrots. Another quick tip when pulling your carrots, it does help if you can loosen up your soil a little bit without damaging the carrots. Just kind of loosen up the soil in between the carrots, and that way it'll help them not break off. I have a couple nice, like 2 clean rows, so right in between the rows I'm just gonna jam this and kind of loosen up the soil.
I'm now gonna pick one. I got 2! We'll get these stuck together. We'll put them in the basket.
Yeah. Now, just for the sake of pulling them, we're just gonna give them a light brush off, keep a little bit of dirt on them, put them in here, and then we'll see what we're gonna eat now and what we're gonna plan on storing. And I'll give you some tips on that after. How's it going, buddy?
Good.
Oh, that's not a carrot.
Woo.
Then there's the dreaded Queen Anne's lace, which is a weed that grows around here, which, as you can see, it's very tricky growing carrots with this weed when it's germinating in your beds, because it looks from the top pretty darn near identical. It's actually a type of wild carrot. However, I don't believe edible. I could be wrong on that. I'm not an expert on Queen Anne's lace, but I believe,
Daddy,
you know, we have pulled some already that this has been growing around and strangling the carrots right out.
Daddy, this is free, non-free.
Soon to be 4 though, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that can, you know, take over. It can be tricky spotting this.
Look at how much carrots
up on
I
that.
have.
Whoa, look at that one. That's a good grab, buddy. Melissa is mowing the lawn. So I just came into the basement real quick to talk. When I'm pulling the carrots, I always just leave a little bit of dirt on until I know what I'm working with. If you know you're gonna consume the amount of carrots you grew in about a month or so, they'll store in the fridge just fine. So you wanna rinse them all off, put them in a freezer bag and store them in the fridge. Always cut the greens off, just leave about an inch or so. The greens will actually leach the sugars out of the carrots and make them not taste as good if you leave them on. So as pretty as they are, cut them off. You can actually use the carrot greens for, they're edible too, so you can eat them. A lot of people make pestos and stuff with them. I've never tried this, but it is something some people do. Maybe I'll try it this time around. So we are probably gonna eat all of these carrots within a month. We plow through carrots in this house. We like carrots. We pack them for lunch every day. We use them in cooking. So we're gonna actually rinse all these, cut the tops off, and throw them in a freezer bag. So that's what we'll be doing now, and I'll just shoot some B-roll since you can't hear anything we're doing anyway. We like carrots around here. Okay, so I'm not going to eat these carrots carrot tops. But you know, I'm gonna feed them to my chickens and compost the rest of them. Still put them to use. Since I just grew a crop of carrots here and I'm succession planting with the same exact crop, I am going to amend this soil a little bit. I don't even know if I'm saying this right, but langbianite, and this is a 0022 fertilizer, so it is 22 parts potassium. So what the potassium is good for is healthy root development, which I found, you know, with a root crop such as carrots, never hurts to kind of treat your soil with some of this. And then the worm castings to finish it off. And it's a 100, but worm castings are just excellent source of nitrogen for your soil. It's a very fine texture too, which will be good for the carrots as well. They're like a sandier, finer kind of soil. Now you don't have to do this. This is what I'm trying for this round. Last time I just fertilized it with this langbianite, seemed to do good. I usually seed pretty heavily with carrots at first and then thin them, as painful as that is to do. The most important thing when starting carrot seeds is keeping your soil moist, is keeping the seeds moist. That's how they germinate, they need moisture. Now carrots, they don't need a lot of high temperature for the seeds to germinate. They don't need light. So if you don't have some sort of system to make sure that your soil doesn't ever dry out, what I did this year, because I don't have any drip irrigation run in this garden, was I actually covered the soil and the seeds with a board, a non-treated, just wood 2x6, I believe I used. Soak the board down with water, and if anything, the sun may dry up the moisture from the top of the board, but the theory behind this is that the seeds will successfully germinate. And once they start sprouting greens, you want to take the board right off. And I actually planted my carrots this year with some different pepper varieties, so cayenne peppers, jalapeno peppers. There's a cilantro plant right back there. Carrots grow really well with tomatoes. That's what I did last year, as far as companion planting wise. Earlier this year I tried a 2x6 board. I'm gonna try that same concept this time around with a piece of cardboard. The concept here is the only thing planted in this bed are these peppers, which don't really provide a lot of shade. This soil is going to dry out a lot quicker. If your soil's not covered, it'll dry out quicker, there's less life in it, and overall it'll just lose its ability to retain water. So, you know, that's the concept here. Now, last little tidbit of information, at least from my experience, carrots seem to take a long time to germinate. It's not one of these things that you're gonna see sprouts in like 4 days, possibly not even 7, 10 days. Sometimes I've seen carrots take as long as 2 to 3 weeks for me before I start seeing something sprouting. They're notorious to slow to germinate, so don't panic if you don't see anything within the first week. Just make sure you keep that soil moist. Try not to let it dry out. That does not mean once you see it bone dry, soak it right up. That's not necessarily what those carrot seeds need. They need to retain moisture throughout the process of germinating. I've found the best success when you make that happen. And that's about it for the day on carrots, folks. Man, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a thing or two. That's what I have to share with you about my experience with growing carrots. I haven't been doing this a long time by any means. I'm not claiming that these are the right ways to grow or harvest your carrots. These are just the ways that I've either read about or tried myself and I've had success with. If you're new to growing carrots or new to gardening in general, these are some of the things that, you know, I do in my garden. And if you're curious, I figured it might help a few of you out there. If you liked the video, as always, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and until next time, that's all I got for you. Hope you dig. Later.